feeling. I was meant to win. I am down and willing, so I will find a way. It took a minute, now it didn't happen right away. When it get hot in the kitchen, you decide to stay. That's how it winners made. Stick a fork in the hater on my dinner plate. I walk into the fire like it's just a bit of flame. I switch my style up, watch the money pile up. I'ma get rich with life.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Clydesdale Media Podcast, where we are starting to interview now CrossFit Games athletes. So, before we get into all the questions, Wad Zombie is already in the chat.
Hi, Waddy, Hottie.
And he said, it's Hattie time. We also have Kenneth DeLapp in the chat. We've got Holly in the chat. So good you guys could be with us. You know, I had your coach on last week, and we kind of made a joke about nobody knew.
I know, that was the funniest part where you kept saying, nobody knew. And then you were like, nobody knew. Just that little whisper. I loved it.
So I want, how many times do you think you have appeared on Clydesdale Media?
Including our volley chats?
Yeah.
Probably 20 times?
I thought it was more, but it was only 15.
Okay.
15
Yeah.
times.
That makes sense. I thought it was probably around 15, 20. I mean, it seems like more for sure, but like we just had really good long chats. I think the Bali one, it seems like it was more than it was, but yeah.
But you've been on this show. This will be your 15th appearance. Somebody knew.
Somebody knew. You knew.
I could not be more pumped for you making the CrossFit Games. And I didn't want to disrupt the weekend, but I was so proud of you. I was so happy for you. I was jumping up and down, screaming at the TV.
Well, I appreciate it. I always appreciate you and your support.
So have you gotten used to the term Hattie Kanyo, CrossFit Games athlete?
Not 100% yet. I was just talking to Jake last night, and I was just sitting there and I said to him, can you believe it that I'm a games athlete? And he just said, oh, I know, it's so insane. And he just kept saying, like, I'm so proud of you. And you're just such a fit chick. And I'm so happy. And I still can't really believe it. So it's just so cool for him to live this with me too. And just how happy and excited he is for me as well. And yeah, it's still feeling like a little bit of a dream, but again, I'm confident and I'm happy, and it does. Yeah. It's real. This is real. I'm going.
Does he walk in the grocery store going like, I'm dating a CrossFit Games athlete?
Probably. He's up north firefighting. So we actually only got to hang out in Cali, and then I haven't seen him since because he's on days off right now. But I told him he could stay up there because he took like 12 days off to come to Cali for me. So yeah.
Well, it's cool that, well, I wish you guys could spend more time together, but he also needs to be able to come to the games, right?
Yeah. And he has days off for the games, which is awesome. So that works out perfect. Yeah. And he's got to make that bread. We got to get some bread so we can get our acreage one day. Yeah, we got goals. So
yeah, acreage. So I know, like,
oh yeah.
And this isn't even in my plans because this is what happens when we talk is you go down one road and then I just follow you. So
yeah.
I know, like, when you go to Bali, it's not like you're going and living high on the hog because like you're living it up all bougie and all that, right? You go because you can sustain yourselves cheaper there and you kind of get away from it all.
Yeah.
By doing that, right? And so
for
does
sure.
it allow you to save money for things like acreage?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, our bougie living is still like, we still live all right there, but it's just so cheap. So yeah, we're able to just stay there for 4 to 6 months. And obviously we just love the people there and we love the culture, and yeah, it just all kind of goes together. So yeah.
Well, and and one idea of bougie and another could be different because like you live in a place where it's pretty much one room, right? And then like a
Yeah,
shared kitchen and a shared this, right? But with that, you have a pool right there and you have a gym right there and you have so like yeah, it's cool you have all this stuff, but you are kind of shrinking down when you go.
for sure. Yeah, because we have lived in our own place, but the biggest thing was we don't cook there. So we don't really need our own big place. And we live at the gym pretty much because they have everything there. We work out there, we eat there, we do our recovery sessions there. So we're pretty much at the gym most of the day. So in our eyes, it's just not worth getting a more expensive villa to ourselves when we could just have this other place it's nice, it's all you need, and then we can live it up at the gym or go on more excursions or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, it makes sense, and I'm not downplaying it at all. I think it's a
No,
cool
for
way to
sure.
do it. When you're young and you don't have kids and you're doing that stuff, that's the time to do it, right?
Yeah,
And then when you have the kids and you want the big property and the acreage, that's when that comes along.
100%. That's the goal.
There it is. So speaking of goals, your goal for a couple years has been to make the CrossFit Games. Check. That one's off the list. Right? Now, how do you reset it all for the next goal? Because you've now made it to that next stage. Now you don't want to just show up, right? So how do
Right.
you reset all that and get ready for the CrossFit Games?
I mean, that's a good question. I feel like I haven't really set any goals for the games or expectations because I kind of want to go in with the mindset of how I went in with semifinals, and that was just to enjoy myself because I heard a few people last year, a couple of the girls, like they went team this year. They really didn't enjoy themselves. And I don't know if that was where they placed or if they just didn't go in. You know, they went in with higher expectations. I don't know all of that, but I just know for me, I don't want to go in and have these super high expectations and then not enjoy myself doing it because that's all I'm reaching for. Obviously, I want to do really well, but I don't know. I feel like I'm just letting it soak in first, and then maybe I'll kind of sit down and write some goals for the CrossFit Games. Tristan and I have already sat down and kind of talked about what training is going to look like, what the games might look like, and all that kind of talk. But for goals, I don't really have any specific ones yet, except to enjoy myself at the games.
And part of that enjoyment is that you perform to the best of your ability. Wherever that may land, you just, I'm sure that is part of it. I know you.
For sure.
I know, like, you'll be disappointed if you didn't perform to the best of your ability.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is going to be a weird question, but I know you'll go with me. So there's been a lot of talk about the West being weak. When in hindsight, there was such a battle for those last few spots. You were never in that battle, right? And you see some of the people who didn't make it. Does that make you feel like, hey, we're not so weak? Like Olivia Kirsteiner could get through this gauntlet. Like, and she was a Games athlete last year.
Yeah, I feel like it's silly for people to say that because, I mean, it really just depends on how people perform that weekend. It depends on the workouts. It depends on, there's so many different factors. So to say that one is stronger than the other, I mean, I get it. Tia's in the East and she's the fittest in the world for 6 years in a row or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, it would be fun to be able to compete over in the East and see, how I would have done over there. I know you did some stats on like where people would have ended up. And I was actually going to message you and be like, hey, did you figure out where I would have been? Because that would have been cool to just kind of see. But because I know you said Annika would have been like, what, 24th or something with everybody,
Yeah.
which is a crazy way to look at it. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's silly just because there are so many different factors. And it was still hard on our side. I mean, we have, some of the fittest people in the world over in the East as well. So I don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, it was actually Holly, my stats and information person, who did that.
Yeah.
And she's incredible. I have those numbers. I'll tell you after we're done.
Okay.
It'll take me a second to look it up, but or Holly, she's in the chat. Maybe she'll tell you. But the one thing it doesn't take into consideration is racing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're racing someone for that finish line, if someone did that in Europe and you would have finished 23rd overall in the world.
Okay.
So
that's
right
with
Annika.
Number one or without?
I know she did it both ways.
Yeah.
I'm assuming your run would help you out.
For sure. Yeah.
So I don't know, but you had to run longer than 800 too. So that
and upstairs.
in both instances, you're 23rd.
Oh, nice.
So you would have made the games either way.
Cool.
She's so fast. She's so good.
I'm like, oh wow.
I'm glad that she's on this team. She's so valuable.
Thank you.
So yeah, it takes away the racing part of it, right? And there were 3 instances, I think, in the West where you either dove, slid, somersaulted to the finish line to get as low a score as possible.
I did.
And so if someone in Europe and you have a similar time, would they have done that at the finish line like you would have? Like,
right.
You don't get to count that in.
Yeah. Yeah, right? It's true.
So that skews it a bit, plus just different environments and all of that. But it's just interesting to look and see. What I wanted to see is, like, are we allocating positions properly?
Right.
Right. Like,
yeah, that's the tough one.
What I loved about semifinals is people were winning out of heat 1. People were messing up the leaderboard from heat 1. We never get that at the games.
Right.
And I think part of that is it's misallocated around the world.
Right.
So we have people there that really shouldn't be there just to get representation. Mm-hmm. Heat 1 not relevant at the games.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. That's
what I like to see. Do that, right?
Yeah.
So we went through that a little bit. So then we talked all off season that you and Tristan, after last year, had a sit down and you needed a different approach to training than what you did last year. And apparently that has worked swimmingly.
It has. I feel great. I feel fit and healthy.
For those people who didn't know, tell them about last year. You were very committed to the gym. You trained with Kelly Baker pretty much from the beginning of the year to semis.
Yeah.
In Houston. And this year you changed that up.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, the difference was just competing all the time. That's what I was doing. Like, I'm not saying I learned so much from Kelly and I am so grateful for that experience, but we're both competitive, and even if we would go into the gym and be like, hey, let's chill today, 3, 2, 1, go, we're competing. You know what I mean? And I think that was just too much for me and my brain, to just be competing and working that hard all the time. And also I was just a hermit. So I would go to the gym and then I would go to the place that I was staying and I would just be in the house. Like, maybe I took a couple walks in that 3 months that I was there, but nothing like I do at home, And that was on me. I should have gone out more, but I just wasn't really, I didn't really know the area. I don't know. It was just, I just wasn't really comfortable with the area and I didn't want to go out. And I'm not really used to big cities like that. My city's pretty small and I don't know, I'm comfortable there. So yeah, it was just too much for my brain, for my body, I think. And then just being a little hermit wasn't good for me. So
that's one of the reasons you went to Bali. You went back home. You got up in the mountains. You did. So right behind you, and I know you're at a friend's house, but right behind you is a picture of exactly the place you want to be.
Yeah, it's beautiful. That's our backyard pretty much.
And so you're happiest when you get to climb a mountain, when you get to go see waterfalls, when you get to go to the beach and the ocean. Like that's when Hattie's happiest.
Yeah, 100%.
And so you needed to ensure this off season that you got enough of that to keep you going through the training.
Yeah. And then even through the training, even in the training a bit too, like next week, my brother and I are going to go do a big trail run in the mountains and maybe get on the kayaks as well, if the weather permits. But just get out, get out of the gym and go and do something different.
And your brother's kind of like a hero to you, right?
Yeah, he is.
And he's the one that kind of got you into fitness.
Yep. I mean, I've always done like athletics, but into fitness, yes, he got me into fitness when I was going down that very dark path.
But you're not on that dark path anymore.
Nah, I see the light. We be shining.
How proud is your brother of you?
He's so proud. I mean, even through semifinals, he was messaging on the group chat for our family. So I have 5 siblings and everyone's in there. My parents are in there. And he just kept updating everyone like, Hattie's kicking it or Hattie's kicking ass. And he'd just be messaging. And then obviously when I got home, he took me out for lunch and just gave me a big hug, told me how proud he was. And yeah.
And he's a law enforcement officer? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So he doesn't have the flexibility to always go see you, right?
No, he does not. He said he wanted to come to the games, but he has other things going on in his family life that he cannot. But I just appreciate him. Yeah. Him and his love and support either way. So, yeah.
So one last thing before we get into your weekend of success is last year you did a week with Hattie in Bali. And I know this year you guys go back to Bali for the off-season. So are you doing anything like in Canada a week with Hattie?
That's a good idea. I mean, I should do the mountains or something for sure. Yeah, I think that would be a really good idea. Maybe I will. I'm going to think on that. I like that idea though. Bring you guys all to the mountains. Because for people that have never been there, it's crazy because when I was firefighting, some of my friends had never even seen the mountains. And that just blew my mind because the mountains are everything to me. So I just thought, wow, you need to come to the mountains. And once they did, they just, fell in love. A couple of them actually moved to BC just to be in the mountains because they fell in love. They're from the East Coast, so.
Yeah. It's so crazy. I knew nothing about Canadian geography till I did this show. And so many of our listeners are from Canada. And I'm learning so much.
You guys love the Canadians.
We do. We have a Canadian bias.
Yeah. I love it.
So we're going to jump into your weekend, and then we're going to finish up the show with, for people who didn't know, you and I love to do 20 questions. So I'm going to finish it up with like our version of 20 questions. Only it's only going to be 10 questions. But we're going to start
20
with
and a half.
And then we're going to go into that. But So you start the weekend with the run. It starts when you guys are told you're going to run the berm, and then through some different things, it gets changed and shortened a bit.
People complaining, so sad. Oh,
And so in the heat of the moment, I was upset as a spectator. I wanted to see the berm. Not that
yeah.
any of us spectating from the stream got to see it anyway, but it would have been cool. But I
Did they show anything of over there in the soccer stadium?
nothing.
Oh, just when we were coming in?
Not until the next day. They put out a recut of like the whole thing. You guys running up the stairs, down the stairs, the whole bit. But it took like a day to produce that.
Mm.
And it's out there on YouTube if you want to go check it out.
Yeah, I haven't looked really at anything yet. That's at the snatch event because that one fired me up. But
so, and I do get it that it was going to make it so long. It was really going to change the stimulus of the workout completely.
Yeah.
And Wad Zombie says they didn't show anything on the screen in the stadium either. They just got the leave. And that was the same way in Knoxville.
Yeah.
The screen showed nothing.
Just people left, and then you had to wait for them to come back in.
Yeah. So, so you do the run, you take third place to open your weekend. Drastically different than last year. Where day one, you were in like total, like, how are we going to fix this thing?
Yeah.
Here you started off hot.
Oh yeah, I loved that event. That was probably the one I'm most proud of. I mean, I knew it would be a good one for me, but I was most proud because I felt like an athlete and I felt like a smart athlete because I kept thinking of the next move. And, I was talking to myself throughout the whole workout. So yeah, I just felt really good and calm, cool, and collected during that workout.
Did the stairs affect you at all?
Not really. I walked in a couple of the rounds because I saw someone else doing it. And so I was like, let me just see if this is just as fast. And I actually caught up to the girl in front of me that was running, that was like trying to jog up. And I was like briskly walking, grabbing the pole. So I just told myself, okay, you can walk up these. It's faster, right? So yeah, they weren't bad. I had practiced some stairs before because Tristan had thought that we were going to be doing stairs. So we have these things called coulees. And yeah, they're just big hills. It's like a big valley, big hills. And there's 2 different areas where there's just stairs that gradually go up. And yeah, he's like, go run those stairs.
Nice. So at the end of the day, you're in third place. Day one, it's one event and it's over. Weird.
It felt good. It was nice. I liked it. Just a long event and then go home, relax, get ready for it. Just gradually gets you ready for the comp kind of. Yeah.
So you wake up day 2 and then we have trying to remember them. The next one is the toe to bar.
Toes to bar.
Squat.
Double under.
Yeah. And you finished 7th. Did you even know what you finished?
I forget.
Okay.
I didn't know then, no. And I knew that I was fighting. This is one of the ones where I rolled over the bar and there was 3 of us. And I'm pretty sure I took, the third, like they beat me by just not very much time at all. So if I wouldn't have tripped on my freaking double unders, then I would have had them, but.
So then event 3 is, I'm sorry, got a frog in my throat.
That's okay.
Been a bad allergy week here. So then in the third event, which is the
7 rounds.
Echo bike, rope climb, box jump.
Box jumps. Yeah.
And you on that one you took 4th.
Mm-hmm.
You like some rope climbs.
Yeah, I love them. And that's the one I slid to, and my butt is still sore from it.
So you did really well in that one, and you anticipated doing well in that one, right?
Yeah.
I asked Tristan about when your athlete is dying for every point, like you were doing, rolling over the finish line, sliding over the finish line. What does that do for you? Because it just gets me fired up. Were you fired up so much every point?
Yeah, I think so. It just kind of came naturally. Like you didn't think, oh, you got to go slide. It just kind of came where you're just like, and that's why I say I just felt good this weekend, because I felt like a smart athlete in the sense of, okay, you know where people are. So you do need to dive over that line for those points. And that one I did overtake somebody, by like, I don't even know how much time, but it was very, very, very close. So
yeah, I mean, there were some races, and I don't know specifically, but because the person you overtook is not near you, but some of them were like 7/100ths of a second.
yeah,
Like it was crazy. So at the end of the day, you were in first place. I know you weren't looking at the leaderboard, but were you able to avoid someone telling you?
no. I had posted it on my Instagram. Hey, I'm not looking at the leaderboard. Please don't say anything, but you can say whatever else you want. And then as I'm packing up all my stuff ready to go, someone's coach had her phone out and she said, Hattie, you're doing really good. You're at the top of the leaderboard. And I just thought, holy shit. Thanks for telling me. But I didn't tell her. I was just like, oh man, crazy. And that's all I had for words because I didn't know what to say, but it was fine. It was all good. I was going to find out the next day anyways. So it was all good.
When they put you in the middle lane, you'd know.
Yeah. Oh, why am I in the middle lane?
Nobody knew. No.
Yeah.
So with that, and we've talked about this all off season, that you had to do a lot of mental work with a coach to get the right mindset for competition. Now you know you're atop the leaderboard. You changed the way you looked at
Not really. The plan was always just take it one event at a time. And I knew that those events were good, but also it's like anything can happen, right? So I kind of just put that aside. I had my happy moment of saying, this is sweet, but it's anyone's game still. That doesn't mean that you're going to get first. So I just needed to start the next day with a clean slate.
Let me ask it this way. Going in, you weren't trying to win the competition. You were trying to qualify.
Oh, yeah.
You were trying to win.
No, I was not. I was not trying to win. I just wanted to get 8th. I just wanted to get a spot for sure.
So when you're leading, does it change the thought process? Like, oh my gosh, I could win?
I mean, a little bit. But again, I just wanted to make it. So I just thought to myself, do not mess up here, And I'm so oblivious about points and point spreads and all of that. So even in Egypt, I was doing fine. I was good. And I think it was the last event or something. And I had no idea if I was going to win or not. And I was like, oh no, I have to really do good on this last event. And a couple of the competitors were like, what are you talking about? You're pretty much going to win this competition. And I'm oblivious to it. So I think in my head, I just didn't know. I don't know. I don't know where I was at. I didn't go in to win, which I probably should have changed that mindset a little bit. But also, I think by the last event, yes, I wanted to win, and I at least just wanted to be on the podium. That was the thing. Once I knew that I had podium in my reach, I wanted it so bad. But we'll get to that last event on why I did not podium.
Yeah, because like what's working for you up until and putting you in that spot is not trying to win, just sticking to your game plan. So it's kind of a catch-22. Do you want to change the mentality, or should you? And it's like, either way, it could bite you in the ass.
Yeah, I think it was like that. It was just kind of pulling either way, where I was just like, yes, it would be awesome to win. But then I had to like straighten myself out and be like, no, we're just trying to make it right now. I mean, I don't even know what this means of me being on top like this, because it's never been really like that in a hard competition like this.
With Alex Kazan, Ariel Lowen, Emily Rolfe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're up there in rarefied air.
Yeah.
So you do event 4, handstand walk row, and you finish 8.
Yeah.
I know you like being on your hands, but that was really a row event.
It was, yeah. I think if we would have had more handstands, maybe I could have caught a couple people, but it was because I can just be on my hands whenever, right? It was definitely the row. I have come a long way with rowing, but I still need to just keep working at it.
Well, just to let you know, I told Carolyn Prevost it was a handstand workout, and she laid into me and slam dunked on me. I thought you Canadians were supposed to be nice.
Only sometimes.
In all seriousness, she convinced me, yes, it's a row workout.
Yeah.
And if you're fast on your hands, you can make up maybe a little bit of time, but really it's a row workout.
To be honest, I did think it was a handstand workout when I first saw it. But then just thinking about it, it was like, no, you got to row pretty hard. And after watching Laura Horvath do it, I was like, yeah, I think it's a row workout. So, and it was.
So then you go into the snatch workout, and I picked you as my underdog to win that.
Thank you.
Because I knew you were efficient with the barbell. You had a smaller range of motion, but I completely forgot about the 3 freaks that you were going up against.
Yeah, especially Olivia. When she was in the heat above us. And when someone came back and said her time, we all just looked at each other and we just thought, nah, none of us are touching that time. Not even close.
Yeah, they interviewed Danny Spiegel, and she said she heard the time and was like, nope, I'm playing for second place.
Yeah.
So did that even affect your game plan at all? Because it was so absurd?
Nope. I knew what I could do. I knew what, I knew what I needed to do. And I went out there and did it the best I could. I got 1 no rep on my first one, but I just shook it off, got right back on the bar. And yeah, I was able to stay consistent, cool, calm, collected. And the bars honestly felt so good. So yeah.
And you finished in 5th, which, because of the 3 freaks ahead of you that are amazing at this event, they were all behind you on the leaderboard. So you actually went right back into first place.
Yeah.
And this is the point where I was talking to Tristan on our show. You wrote in the comments something contradictory to what he thought. And I said, did she know she had it clinched after the event? And he said, I don't think she knew. And you wrote in the comments,
I knew because someone told me, and I love that person, but I wish that they never told me. But I did get to have my cry because what happened was this person told me and pretty much said, hey, like you could get last right now and you've made the games. And so I just started bawling. We hugged, whatever. And it was a great moment, but I think that it was detrimental to my game because even though I still wanted to push hard and I knew that last event was going to be good for me, like I should have for sure got top 10 on that event. But I think it was subconscious. I just had no urgency. Even on the ring muscle ups, I was going and I felt really good. And at 11, I was like, you could come down. Like, what? No, why are we not doing this unbroken? You can do these unbroken easy. So why are we coming down? I don't even know. And I had that conversation with me. I thought as soon as I dropped, I was like, what are you doing? You know, it was like two people fighting against each other. And then the other person was like, I don't know, we just are dropping for a second. We're just going to have a quick rest. Like, oh, it was just such a weird feeling. And then I got a costly no rep on the lunges. So yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to say this. It was a bogus call. You should not have had to go back the other square just to the beginning of that one. That's
yeah.
And that would have made all the difference in the world. And you
yeah, I mean, yeah, they did tell us in the briefing though, it was each yellow line. So it was every 24 was supposed to be unbroken.
And you cleared that yellow line.
Man. Well, that's the thing. I did clear it, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got hosed. You don't have to say this. You're the athlete and you don't want to make enemies. And I get that. I'm saying
for sure.
You got hosed.
Yeah. And honestly, this is me learning and growing as an athlete too, because I should have appealed it. But in the moment, you're just sitting there like, oh, you know, all I could think of was looking up at them. Like, was that good enough to podium? I mean, all I wanted to do was make it. But then when I had podium and reach, that's all I wanted right then and there. You know, I was a little bit disappointed in myself.
I'm going to ask a weird question. In that moment, when you're ready to set it down, do you have enough wherewithal in your head to look at your judge and say, am I good? Or were you at a point where like you had to let him down?
No, I probably should have either taken one more step just in case, or ask him. I wasn't quite needing to drop it. I just saw the line right there and I was like, if I could just do one step, that's better than two. And I saw that it was far enough that I could do a big lunge. So that's why I did that. But yeah, maybe I should have been like, is that good? You know, or look behind me before I set them down or something. But again, this is like a fast race. That last one is a fast, you're not really thinking about that. I was just trying to get over that line fast so I could, because I knew I was going to set it down. So that's why I was like, hey, get over that line so we can pull it back. Deep breath. We're going to pick it up. Go.
But I think in hindsight, what people, especially in the East, oh my gosh, so many people lost their tickets to the game on that event. And it was because like you really do have a little more time than you think. Mm-hmm. Just would have like, I don't want to name names. If you would have said, hey, every 2 boxes, I'm going to set the dumbbells down, do a quick shakeout, pick them back up and go.
Yeah.
They would have done well enough to make it to the games.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to and you just have to finish.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why it was a cool event. I mean,
it was a perfect ending.
It was definitely a perfect ending. Yeah. Because it messed some people up. And then that's exactly what they're going for on that. And yeah, I thought it was really cool. Yeah. And I'm glad I just learned that now. And yeah.
So, especially like the push-pull with the 2 Hatties, one on each shoulder, is that something you are going to talk about with your mindset coach? or with Tristan? It's like, how do we fix that?
I think it's just more practice in the gym. Yeah. Like I could talk to my mindset coach and say, how do I overcome that kind of thing? And just practice that kind of talk in the gym for sure. But yeah, it just comes with more experience, because just the fact that I could have that conversation with myself during a workout is already a step in the right direction. So I think it's just comes with more and more experience.
Yeah. I think what's cool about this, and like in a lot of sports always go better when you
When you can what? Sorry?
when you can slow them down in your mind,
Oh, yeah.
right?
That's why number one went so good, because it was just slowed down and I was able to be calm and yeah.
You were in that flow state, that zone, right?
Yeah.
The last event was designed to push people outside of that zone.
Yeah.
And either you succumb to it or you overcame it. And that's what the beauty of sports is.
For sure. Yeah, I agree.
But at the end of it, you finished 4th, tied with Ariel Lowen for 3rd, because she had a win. She finishes ahead of you. Still ecstatic about the weekend?
Oh, yeah. I'm proud and happy and just ready for the next one.
Does it give you extra confidence knowing you hung with some of the best athletes in the sport?
Oh, yeah. It does for sure.
Because, like, take nothing away from Elfit, right? You win Elfit, but you weren't going up against top 5 games.
No. Yeah.
And here you were.
Yeah. Gave me all the confidence. Gave me, yeah, like I said in that interview, like, I just believe that I'm capable now, you know?
Yeah. Not to do it again, but we knew.
We knew.
So I could not be more proud of you. You've become such a cool friend. I love you. And I'm so happy for you and your family and Jake and everybody that all, because I know they've all been in your corner. It's cool that they get to see this come to realization.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much.
So now we're going to finish with the fun stuff. The 20 questions. This goes all over the map. There's no structure to this.
Oh no.
Fire.
Okay.
And you know me, I'm all over the map on this one. You ready?
I'm ready.
Question 1. Perfect date night.
Oh, perfect date night. Probably mountains, go on a hike, come down, go to the local pub, have a beer, have a burger, finish it off with some ice cream and walk around the town.
Awesome.
Simple.
Question number 2. What is the one implement you want to try at the games that you have seen them use in the past?
Ooh. I would probably have to say the pig.
Oh. We have one of those at my gym.
Okay, I have to come over because I can't find one anywhere.
It's funny because
it's just so hardy, and I just want to be able to lift it. And I mean, watch it come to the games, and I can't even lift it.
What's funny is it's actually Margot Alvarez's.
Okay.
When Christy, because Christy owns my gym, Christy O'Connell, when she
Yeah.
made games and there was an announcement for the pig, Margot shipped it to her to test.
Wow.
So nobody can afford the shipping back. So it's just sitting in her gym.
Nice. I mean, that's cool.
When you get your games kit, what's the one non-negotiable pose you will do with your kit on?
Oh no. I need to pick a new pose because I've been like doing this one, but I want a more fun one. So I feel like maybe I'll do like
Oh,
Or I'll do this.
yeah, it's got to be like,
Yeah.
that's it. That's
Yeah.
the one.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to see
Okay,
that.
that's the one.
All right. And then more exhilarating, putting out a fire or qualifying for the CrossFit Games?
They're just different, man. Ah, they're different. They're both exhilarating in their own ways. I would say this year qualifying wasn't as exhilarating as I thought it would be, only because of what happened with that last event. You know what I mean? Like, I thought I'd be crying and I thought I'd be, or jumping with joy, but I just was thinking about the podium. So they're just, I think the whole weekend was just so exhilarating. So they're exhilarating in their own way. Fire is crazy. When you're in the thick of it and you got a crazy fire going on beside you, I mean, that's like close to death. So, I mean, that's probably more exhilarating, to be honest.
And for our listeners who didn't know, you fought wildfires in Canada for 3 years?
6.
6.
Yeah.
Just 3 and 3. You were a leader for 3.
I was leader for 4 and non-leader for 2.
Okay. I was getting close.
You were close. You were close.
Okay. Favorite part of the semifinal?
I think having all of my community, all my friends, all my family there with me, it was just so, I don't know, that just kept me calm all weekend. And it was so cool walking up the stairs at the end of the event, and everyone was just waiting for me at the top to give me a big old hug and say how proud they were of me. And I know that they would have done that no matter what. Even if I was in last, they still would have been up there to give me a hug and say that they're proud of me. So, yeah.
All right. The CrossFit Games are over. What is the perfect meal to celebrate the end of your season?
I mean, I'm just a burger fiend. So a big old burger, some fries, maybe a milkshake or some ice cream. Probably a beer too.
Milkshake and ice cream?
Maybe both. Yeah.
It's the end of the season.
Maybe put the ice cream in the beer. I don't know. Who knows?
That you lost me there.
Yeah, that'd be disgusting. I won't do that.
Ice cream. I love ice cream. Love beer. They do not.
But not together.
Yeah.
No.
All right. If you could pick one song to play over the loudspeaker as you enter the Coliseum for the CrossFit Games, what song would that be?
Can I have 2? It would probably have to. This is hard. Tell 'em we comin'. No, it's actually called KKAM. And it says, tell 'em we comin', tell 'em we comin', tell 'em we comin'.
Awesome. Okay. What is the one destination for an adventure you want to accomplish before anything else?
Okay, wait, say that again, because I just zoned out on the song, because I just thought of another song that I want. So say that one more time.
Yeah. We learned when we did these on the Bali shows that Hattie always has to have 2.
I know. Well, it's because I like Disney and I like rap. So I would like a Disney song for half of it and a rap song for the other.
Your coach
Okay.
says, throw it up, Lil Jon and East Side.
Nice. Hi, Tristan.
Wad Zombie says, I'm proud of you, but you should be more proud of yourself.
Thank you. I am proud of myself.
So here's the question again.
Okay.
Hopefully we flushed the other one away now. What
It's gone.
is one destination for an adventure you want to accomplish before anything else? Like
destination.
You've been to Bali, you've been to all these Egypt, you've been to all these cool places. What's the next destination you want to go to more than anything?
I would probably have to say, I'm trying to think. I've always wanted to go to Vietnam.
Okay.
and go to like there's this really cool bridge and it's got like this big hand that holds the bridge. And then just, yeah, it looks really cool there, the culture. And I've just heard really good things about it. So, yeah.
You're kind of all about the culture, right? Like when you go to a place, you like to dive in and like, what's the food?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then my last one, because I heard after semis, you went to Universal Studios. What is your favorite theme park?
I haven't really been to a ton of them, but that would probably be my favorite because Optimus Prime was there. I'm in love with him. And I told him I was in love with him.
And what did he say back?
Oh, you're going to cry. He said, well, I'm in love with the universe. And then I cried because he shut me down pretty much.
Oh. Ticket to the CrossFit Games, shot down by Optimus Prime.
It's crazy, man. What is life?
It's yin and the yang.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm surprised. I asked this because I knew you like Disney music.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if like Disney theme park would outweigh Optimus Prime, but apparently.
Yeah. I mean, if Mulan was there and, Hercules, then maybe I would have loved that. Because I did go to Disney World years ago and it was good, but I just really liked the rides and the whole experience. Like Harry Potter World was really cool too. So, yeah.
I think I missed a couple questions here. I know I did. What's the favorite thing you've streamed in the last year?
What's the what?
The favorite thing you've streamed in the last year.
Favorite thing I've streamed? Oh, that's
or binged, show you've binged.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't watch a lot of TV. I'm weird. I watch some weird stuff. Like I watch crime shows, and I recently watched this thing. Actually, I probably shouldn't even say it, but it's like a religious thing, and it just intrigues me because I grew up religious, and that was probably the most interesting one that I watched. Yeah, I watched some weird stuff, so nothing too interesting.
The weirdest thing I've watched this year, just like my wife started this thing and then we got hooked and we ended up binging the whole thing. And it was about the pepper people.
What are the pepper people?
So they're people who love hot peppers.
Oh, and is it where like celebrities are eating these?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's a talk show. This is like Jimmy in his basement growing a new breed of pepper to try to be the hottest in the world.
What?
And then this guy in Pittsburgh growing them in his backyard, and this guy in Colorado growing them on a mountainside. And
okay.
And there's people who judge whether they're the hottest pepper in the world. And then there's competitions where like you have to go round by round. Like the first round you eat 1 pepper, second round you eat 2 peppers, then 3, then 4.
Just burn your tongue off. Like I like spice, but when you just burn your tongue off, there's no point.
And so it was just fascinating. One, these people were bizarre characters.
Yeah.
They were paranoid that. So whenever you take your pepper to be tasted, you take the seeds out of it because they're so paranoid that someone will steal a seed and plant it
and grow it
and have their pepper.
Oh, that is hilarious. Just little freaks about their peppers.
It was the craziest thing ever. And we got totally sucked in.
So actually I did get sucked into the glass blowing show. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh yeah.
Something hot. I can't remember, but that was really cool to see what people could make with glass.
The Christmas edition was really cool.
Oh, and I didn't watch that one. I still need to.
Yeah. Yeah, we got into that one too. My wife watches all the true crime stuff, all the bizarre stuff.
Yeah, the crime ones are good.
I get sucked into some of them. I can't do the true crime.
No, Jake either. He's like, I don't know why you watch that.
No, I life is hard enough. I don't need to know what everybody else's bad experiences.
Yeah. That's fair. It's also kind of scary where you see what people are capable of, and then you're walking down the street like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife is like, I couldn't sleep last night. And I'm like, why? Because you watched three Datelines and
because you watched some murder that comes into people's homes or something. It's like, no wonder.
We'll be sitting at the dinner table. She goes, well, there's this guy. I was watching the show and there's this guy and this girl and they met. And then they went to the Grand Canyon. I'm like, and he shoved her off. Well, yeah. How'd you know? Because every show's that when you.
I think it's a woman thing. We just love the suspense or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, as always, these are such a blast.
Yeah, I loved it.
So fun to hang out. So glad you're going to the games. So glad. I got to check on plane tickets this weekend. But
yeah, I hope you're going to be there.
So I have a hotel there. I just
okay.
have to get a flight. And
okay, let's do it.
For media credentials. And you know CrossFit, they wait till the last minute.
I'm going to send out all the good vibes. Guess what? You might not believe in this woo-woo stuff, but when I was on the podcast with Lauren and I saw your comment, the number or the time on it was 11:11. So that could be good juju for you. I'm sending it out to the universe. You're going to get it.
I like the 11:11 thing.
I've literally been seeing 11:11 everywhere lately.
Wad Zombie, you're the best. $4.99, get a flight. That should off.
There you go.
Cost, right?
That'll help.
Yeah, there we go. But Wad Zombie's one of the best dudes ever.
Yeah, they're great.
So, and you got to meet him at semis.
I did get to meet him. That was awesome.
Hopefully he'll make a card about you someday.
May have already. No, I don't know. Maybe. Right, Waddy? Right, Waddy Hottie?
Waddy Hottie. You know that's going to be his new handle.
Oh, yeah. He should change it. Waddy Hottie. Waddy Hottie Zombie.
He lips are sealed. All right.
Sick.
Well, with
this
that,
is gonna be it.
I better see that on IG.
That'll be it for sure.
Yeah, because I mean that's what you should be known for.
Yeah, right.
Like when you win an event.
Let's go.
Yeah. You got it because everybody's doing tricks now. Like Jason Hopper did the putting out a cigarette.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to think of something. Maybe that will be it, actually.
Yeah. Got it. That way you stand out.
Yeah.
Especially when you get to flip the pig.
Oh, that's going to be sick.
Well, with that, guys, thank you so much for being in the comments. You make this show so much fun. Thank you to Hattie, and congratulations on being officially named a CrossFit Games athlete.
Woo-hoo.
And
thanks, guys.
See everybody next time in Fort Worth, Texas with Hattie Kanyo. Bye, guys. See you next time.